Hello, sports fans. Welcome to Super Sports Central. Today, we're going to be going over my top 10 NFL wide receivers for the 2023 NFL season. Starting off with a few honorable mentions, we got honorable mention to DeAndre Hopkins, DK Metcalf, and Terry McLaurin. Getting into the top 10, at number 10, we've got Jaylen Waddle. So he's been in the NFL for 2 seasons now, and he has been great in both those years. As a rookie, Jaylen Waddle set the rookie receptions record where he had 104 catches for 1,015 yards and 6 touchdowns. And this past season, he had 75 catches for 1,356 yards and 8 touchdowns. And last year, Waddle showed he could be a big play threat as he had 21 plays that went for over 20 yards, and he also led the NFL with 18.1 yards per catch. So Jaylen Waddle, one of the most explosive young wide receivers in the NFL, and has been very good so far. He checks in at number 10. Number 9 is Mike Evans. So some might say this is a little high for Mike Evans, but Mike Evans has been one of the more underrated receivers in the NFL for quite some time. Mike Evans is extremely consistent as he has never had a season where he has had under 1,000 receiving yards in his entire career, so that's 9 straight 1,000-yard seasons. And Mike Evans is also a big red zone target, as in 4 of those 9 seasons he has had 10-plus touchdowns. So Mike Evans, one of the most consistent receivers in the NFL, he checks in at 9. Number 8 is Deebo Samuel. So he enters at 8. He's coming off a little bit of a down year where he had just 632 receiving yards and 2 receiving touchdowns, also adding 232 rushing yards and 3 rushing touchdowns. But Deebo is one of the most versatile wide receivers in the game. He's a great receiver, and he can also be lined up in the backfield as a running back. He can run the ball effectively, and he's great with the ball in his hands as a receiver, as a running back. Wherever the 49ers can get the ball into his hands, he's great like that. He's the definition of a playmaker at the receiver position, and even after a down year, he still enters at number 8. Number 7 is Ja'Marr Chase. You could argue this is a little bit low for him after Ja'Marr Chase has gotten off to a tremendous start in his NFL career. In 2021, as a rookie, he had 81 catches for 1,455 yards and 13 touchdowns. And then last year, had 87 catches for 1,046 yards and 9 touchdowns, but was limited to just 12 games due to a hip injury, but those are still some great numbers in just 12 games. Ja'Marr Chase, a lot like Jaylen Waddle, same draft class as Jaylen Waddle, one of the best young, big play wide receivers in the NFL, and he checks in at 7. Number 6 is A.J. Brown. So A.J. Brown is coming off a massive year with the Eagles where he had career highs in catches and yards last season. A.J. Brown had 88 catches for 1,496 yards and 11 touchdowns. Plus, A.J. Brown was a big reason Jalen Hurts took a major step forward. And a key thing for A.J. Brown last season was he was able to stay healthy as he played in every game for the first time since his rookie year in 2019. And after a career year for the Eagles, Brown enters at number 6. Number 5 is Stefon Diggs. So, Diggs may be overshadowed a little bit this offseason by the drama he's causing in Buffalo, but Diggs is a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL. Last year, he had 1,429 yards on 108 receptions and 11 touchdowns. And Diggs has been elite ever since he was traded to the Bills, where in 3 seasons with Buffalo, he has had at least 100 catches, 1,200 yards, and 8 touchdowns in all 3 of those seasons. And he has a streak of 5 straight 1,000-yard seasons, and that dates back to 2018 when he was with the Vikings. Diggs, one of the best targets in the NFL, is a huge part of the Bills' offense. He checks in at 5. Number 4 is Cooper Kupp. So I could see the argument for Cooper Kupp a little bit lower after an injury-riddled season last year. But Cooper Kupp still had 812 yards and 6 touchdowns in just 9 games. And Cooper Kupp is only 1 year removed from winning the Triple Crown, where he was absolutely dominant that season in 2021 with 145 receptions for 1,947 yards and 16 touchdowns. Kupp, still one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, an excellent route runner. And he was one of the best receivers in the NFL last year before he got hurt, as he was on his way to well over 1,000 yards with just 800 yards in 9 games. But Cooper Kupp checks in at number 4. Still one of the best receivers in the NFL. Number 3 is Tyreek Hill. So he slots in at 3 after a tremendous season in his first year with the Dolphins. In his first year in Miami, Tyreek Hill totaled career highs in catches and yards, as he had 119 catches for 1,710 yards and 7 touchdowns. Tyreek Hill is one of the best deep threats in the NFL, so there's not many players, if anyone, that can keep up with him in the open field, as he has blazing speed, and that makes him incredibly dangerous with the ball in his hands as well. Tyreek Hill, a great playmaker for the Dolphins, and I have him as the 3rd best receiver in the NFL. Number 2, I have Davante Adams. So some might say this might be a little bit high for Davante Adams, but I don't think so. He still had a fantastic year last year in his first season with the Raiders, as he put up 100 catches for 1,516 yards and a week-high 14 touchdowns. And those numbers are very similar to the numbers he was putting up in Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers as his quarterback. In fact, he had more yards and touchdowns last year than in 2021 when he had his final season with the Packers. So Davante Adams hasn't even dropped off a little bit after leaving Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, so there's no reason to drop him in my rankings. He's still a top wide receiver. He comes in at number 2. And number 1, I'm sure it's really not really surprised, it is Justin Jefferson. He is on another level when it comes to wide receivers in the NFL. He's only 24 years old and has gotten off to a insane start in his NFL career. He has had at least 1,400 yards in every season, and is coming off a ridiculous season where he led the league in receptions and yards with 128 catches for 1,800 yards and 8 touchdowns. And Justin Jefferson, one of the best players in the NFL. I think he's the best wide receiver in the NFL, and I think he goes for over 2,000 yards in this upcoming season. And just so you guys know, this is how good I think they were now, not how good a season I think they will have, but just a little bit of a bold prediction there for Justin Jefferson. I think he breaks the receiving record and goes for over 2,000 yards. And I have Justin Jefferson as the best receiver in the NFL, as I'm sure most of you guys do. But those are my top 10 NFL wide receivers. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, turn on notifications so much other videos. Let me know in the comments if you agree with my rankings, disagree, and why. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If there's anyone too high or too low in my rankings, or if there's anyone that should be in my rankings or not in my rankings, please let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. But thank you for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, turn on notifications. I do my best to post as often as possible, and I will see you in the next video.